What's up, everybody? We're back at it again with another group review. This time it's not for a new release. This is actually for a classic movie review. And it's for Terry Gilliam's The Fisher King. Why did we watch The Fisher King? Because luckily one of our art theaters in downtown was playing it, and we figured, why not? Let's go check it out. And by the way, everybody say hi to say hi to Perry, because you know
he's back.
He's back.
Grand return.
He's back at it.
Of The Fisher King.
Back from Vegas.
Yeah,
he's
apparently.
back from Vegas.
Yeah, he apparently worked at one of the biggest music festivals in the whole world over in Vegas. So
can't beat EC.
Yep. Apparently he hated it, but that check was fat, so he's happy.
Yeah.
He got the bread.
Yep. He's making that bread. So yeah, Terry Gilliam is obviously a filmmaker that is not foreign to my channel. I've talked about him a lot. Brazil is one of my all-time favorite films ever made, for good reason. It's just a brilliant social satire and comedy. I just think he's a really clever and really smart writer. The Monty Python films I absolutely adore. I think they're both hilarious and just really smart comedy on top of it, and just extremely silly. Like he can write really silly, outrageous comedy, but also write really clever comedy.
Yeah.
And so needless to say, I was pretty excited to check out The Fisher King because Jeff Bridges is in it, Robin Williams is in it, and it's directed by Terry Gilliam. So what's there not to be excited for? So we just got out of The Fisher King. What are our thoughts, boys?
I really enjoyed it. I feel like I probably enjoy it more than everybody here because I just feel like I got a lot out of it.
I think so too.
But yeah, I mean, I'll get to it. Perry, what'd you think?
I think I might actually enjoy it more than you did.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
really?
Well then.
It's definitely more down to earth than the rest of like Terry Gilliam's filmography.
Yeah.
But it still has that Terry Gilliam flair to it, you know.
Right.
I'd say it's probably like his most like relatable and digestible film, because like you said, like
Agreed.
it's definitely his most conventional film.
Yeah.
But that's not a negative thing, you know, like don't take that as a negative because, you know, with this type of story, you know, of course it's going to be a little bit more conventional than all of his other films. But I still thought it was a great film.
Yeah, I think both of y'all actually probably ended up liking it a bit more than me. I mean, I enjoyed the film, don't get me wrong. I think it's a pretty damn good movie. You know, there's a lot of things to like about it. The performances, number one, are incredible. Robin Williams is extremely charismatic, as he always is. Always puts on an awesome character in this film and in all the other films that he's in. Jeff Bridges knocks it out of the park as well.
He was great.
Definitely.
Really plays a convincing, self-absorbed asshole in this film, but that you kind of also end up caring about, you know, especially by the end of the film. There's a lot of things
that
that like
ambiguous. I really like that.
Yeah, his character isn't so cut and dry, which is something that I obviously is you know, that I like in characters. Most people should like that about characters because a fucking one-dimensional character is not very interesting.
Right.
But I enjoyed this film for a lot of different reasons. Like I said, the characters, the story is also pretty interesting. It goes in a really like a romantic route as well that I didn't expect, and it also was really more comedic than I actually expected.
I thought the movie was really funny.
Oh yeah.
It was really funny. I mean, Robin Williams is a comedian, so it's kind of like, you know, you can kind of expect that, but it was definitely, for me, more comedic than I expected. I mean, we saw in a pretty packed theater, I would say.
It was pretty packed, yeah.
And they were laughing the whole time. Like they found the movie absolutely hysterical. I think they were laughing a lot more than I did, but it's definitely a film that I think is a good experience to watch with a crowded theater, because it's just, I think the audience responded very well to it.
Yeah.
And they're very respectful. Like, everybody has been to like comedies where they laugh, but they'll just continue to fucking laugh for like 5 minutes when the joke is far gone. You're just like, shut the fuck up.
I know.
But no, yeah, everybody was really nice and, you know, just laughed when it was appropriate.
Yeah. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I think they liked it more than I did, but I think that's just because, again, I've seen quite a bit of his films, and I just think his other films like Brazil even some of the Monty Python films, even Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I think I found more impressive and enjoyed a bit more than this film. But that doesn't mean that, you know, it's not a good film. I think it's a really good film. If I'm comparing it to his filmography, I think I maybe enjoyed this one a little bit less than his other films. Mm-hmm. But and I think that is just because it is a little bit more basic, a bit more conventional than what I'm used to seeing from him. Even though I was a little bit impressed by it, because even though it is conventional, it does find room to throw in some symbolism that isn't just clear cut for your casual audience. Right. There's things in there that I think, you know, your casual audience won't really pick up on, but they can still really enjoy the film. And, you know, it's not really heavy on that. Like I said, it's still a pretty basic film, but it shows you some kinds of metaphors and stuff that are kind of akin to films like Brazil. And I thought it was really nice for this film to still have that touch to it and still be kind of, like Perry said, relatable, you know, to your average audience. But that being said, I still thoroughly enjoyed the film. I think it's pretty good. Like I said, the performances to me, I think, were one of the most outstanding things about it.
Definitely.
Part of the reason why I love Brazil so much, and why I think I like it more than this movie, is because it's so imaginative and it's so ambitious and it's trying to do so much. But I really like that this movie is like at a different point of Terry Gilliam's filmography, and he purposefully subdued it and tried to bring it much more down to earth, while still being outrageous sometimes. But I don't know, I just kind of like that idea that this is like, you know, both are mature movies, but they're mature in different ways.
Yeah.
While still being kind of immature at some points, but that's Terry Gilliam. But yeah, I still feel like this movie just had so many strong points that is clearly different than what Brazil was trying to do. They obviously had different goals. Mm-hmm. And I can appreciate them for different reasons, I feel.
I definitely think it's one of those films where if it wasn't Robin Williams, like, because Robin Williams, like, he made it work. I feel like a lot of actors, if they tried to do what Robin Williams did in this film, if they tried to play his character, the film would have fell flat.
Yeah.
But because you have Jeff Bridges, because you have Robin Williams, and they're so talented, they make it work.
Yeah, because Robin Williams' character could have came off really annoying and corny if it wasn't played by someone as charismatic as him.
Yeah, he pulled it off really well.
Yeah.
There's kind of an elephant in the room, I think, that the man who killed Don Quixote kind of tried and did something that the Fisher King already did kind of better.
Yeah.
Much better, actually.
Yeah. It's funny because when Robin Williams' character first came on screen, I was like, this fucking reminds me of Don Quixote.
And it's for different reasons, but it's kind of the same thing in a way.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, it's a guy who thinks he's like this thing even though he's clearly not, and it's played for comedic effect while the other person like is more reactionary. But I feel that there was more purpose to it in this film than in The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
Well, yeah, I think that there's a bit more depth and substance behind the character in this one.
For sure.
And but honestly, I know, like, this, it's not, you know, it's probably no question for you guys. I know y'all probably like the Fisher King better than Don Quixote, but for me, it's like, I don't even know which one I like better. I like Don Quixote almost as equally as the Fisher King, even though I can probably admit that the Fisher King is probably a better made film. But
I personally like it much better than The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, even though I do like that movie still.
Same here.
Well,
you don't like
mine is the fact that I like Don Quixote. But the thing is, it's like, I like the Fisher King so much, like, I'm actually gonna go back and rewatch Don Quixote.
Oh, interesting.
Because the fact that they have the same format, maybe since I've seen Fisher King, I can appreciate Don Quixote more in a second viewing.
Another actor that I really liked in the film was, I think her character's name was Anne. I don't remember.
Anne, yeah.
I don't remember.
She was great.
I really loved her performance. I think she was legitimately really, like, I don't know, I mean, maybe not really well written, but because it's not about her really. I don't know.
Well, I felt so much for her character the whole time.
I did too. Yeah, I liked how, you know, the film like didn't like pass over her and be like, oh, you know, she's okay with. She legitimately like grabbed a hold of the situation and she's like, no, this is bullshit. You can't do this to me. Like, like this is really fucked up what you're doing. Like, you know, there was just a lot of like depth in that character part.
Yeah, they did a good job at like really making you care about her, because she's just like you really liked her character on screen whenever she came on, because she was just a very strong, you know, like, I guess she's a very like strong-willed character who, you know, is very loving, but at the same time, you know, it's like you can't help but feel for her, because he's also a little bit maybe too kind to someone who obviously isn't really reciprocating the same kind of thing back, and the whole time you're just kind of like, shit, girl, you deserve a lot better than this shit, but you can't help but, you know, kind of feel for her, and also hope that Jeff Bridges gets his shit together the whole time too. You're like, please, like, get some sense in you, grow some balls, and take hold of the situation, because this chick loves you, man, but you're fucking treating her like garbage, man. Jesus, there's so many parts with their dynamic. I'm just like, I just wanted to punch Jeff Bridges in the face.
Definitely.
Yeah, there was a lot of parts where you felt very annoyed with him and for what he's doing.
But that's definitely the intention that they were going for.
Yeah, I like how Jeff Bridges' motivation was always like up in the air. Like, why is he doing? Like, is it just because he's selfish and he wants to feel good about himself, or is it truly because he has like this kind of remorse that he wants to genuinely fix?
Right.
And I also love that this film was able to incorporate like the concept of the Holy Grail in it too.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, it's really cool that you were able to put that. It's like, it's weird. He combined a similar feel of like Brazil and then the Holy Grail, but then made a totally different film, but with some sort of similar concept of those things in it. And I thought it was really interesting. And I like how the concept of the Holy Grail too is left, you know, more ambiguous, and it doesn't like spoon feed you what the meaning of that was.
Right.
Yeah, I like that too.
I love how, like, the film really took its time and the character development felt believable.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it tried to rush, you know?
Yeah.
Or it didn't feel like the film was rushed, or that there was kind of like any lazy, non-well thought out moments. It felt like the pacing was very well, and everything was very well thought out. And, my God, I mean, this film was very comedic, but there are some very tragic moments
For sure,
that had my jaw on the ground when I was watching certain scenes.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like the moment that they show, like, it already explains in the film what that moment is, but the way that it's executed and the way that it's done, you still can't help but feel that anxiety for what's happening.
Exactly.
And I thought it was obviously really effective. And like I said, there's this connection with Robin Williams' character that has to do with this red knight or horse thing that's going on. And I like how they were able to connect that symbolically, you know, to his character. And it doesn't connect it verbally, but the way that it shows that tragic event happen and the way that it combines those things together, it just really worked for me. I was like, this is really, really good directing and really good vision here, and that was probably one of my favorite aspects of the film.
Yeah, I really like when surrealism is like used very effectively. Like Terry Gilliam is really good at that. David Lynch as well, obviously. But I don't know. This is probably like one of the most purposeful like times I've ever seen it, or at least like it's up there. Like I just thought the imagery was cool, and obviously it was for an actual purpose that made sense and was ambiguous enough to speculate what it's about.
I totally agree, man.
Yeah, I think...
Is that it? Is that all thoughts?
I recommend people to check it out if they just haven't seen it.
Definitely check it out. This one's a classic.
For sure.
It's worth like a one-time watch to see if you like it or not.
For sure.
Because this is a hidden gem. Sorry.
No. Yeah. It's funny because I was asking my dad if he's ever seen this, because this came out in 91, I think.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he's seen it, and he was like, I don't know, man. It sounds familiar, but I don't know. And then I showed him the poster, and he was like, oh, yeah, I've seen that movie, man. I've seen it. And I asked him if it was good or not. And he's like, I don't remember. It was such a long time ago. And I'm like, shit. But, yeah. I think most Robin Williams Robin Williams fans in the 90s probably saw this film.
Didn't know what to think of it. He's like, why the fuck is he running around like this?
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's funny because our theater, like, 85% of them, it was their first time watching it, including all of
that
us.
was crazy.
I did not expect that. I thought, like, maybe half. Like,
we know because there was a guy who was like, so this is, is this your first time watching it? Like, raise your hand. And then everybody, like, raised their hand.
literally,
like, oh,
almost the whole theater rose their hand, just raised their hand. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
But, anyways, I really enjoyed this film. There are so many things about this film to really appreciate and respect. The performances were absolutely incredible. Even some of the camera work was really surreal. A lot of the angles that he chose were really awesome. The writing was pretty good. There was maybe a few times that I thought it was maybe a bit too wordy and was giving me too much.
Yeah.
But as far as like the story goes and most of the dialogue, I thought was really well written. And yeah, I really enjoyed this film a lot. It's not my favorite Terry Gilliam. I have a lot of other ones that I probably like better, but this is still a really good film. I'm gonna give The Fisher King an 8 out of 10.
Okay. I guess this is my second favorite Terry Gilliam film. I still really like the Monty Pythons. I would go as far as to say I love them. I need to rewatch them though because I've only seen all of them one time, except for The Life of Brian. I did rewatch it recently and I really loved it. Besides the point, I would give The Fisher King an 8 out of 10 as well. Even though I personally enjoyed it more, obviously.
Nice.
Obviously, I've seen a lot of Terry Gilliam's films, and this is my least favorite. But with that being said, I still love this movie to death, and I recommend it to all film lovers and even casuals out there. I think you could really enjoy
Both
this
can
film.
really enjoy this film.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also going to give it an 8 out of 10.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Hells yeah. All on the same page, basically.
High life all over again.
It's so weird because we all kind of liked it more and less than the other,
Yeah.
but we end up giving all the same
Because you still
grade.
got to be objective.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
You don't,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's why I think we all have the same score.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that's it, guys.
Yeah, check it out.
We really appreciate you clicking on this video and hearing what I say about an old-ass movie.
It's not too terribly old. It came out in the early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah,
But no, it's still, yeah.
Still
it's not a
fairly
new
old.
movie.
Yeah. But, yeah, if you really enjoyed what we all had to say about The Fisher King, please don't forget to like this video.
Like this video.
And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to also be updated on more film-related content.
Cool,
Check you
plus.
later.